Hey guys, just wanted to post this little video just because there's not too many great videos on it, or at least specifically what I'm into, and it's mostly just about my Ikea case here that I converted to grow specifically mounted minis. Yeah, as you can tell, it is pretty good. We got a couple bloomers coming in. Here's a speciosum here. I think we got two spikes approaching. This is mostly a warm to intermediate grow space. It can get up to, it depends on how warm my room is, but I have seen it get up to 80. Usually if it gets that hot though, I'll take a fan and open the doors and kind of blow it out, just because I don't want them baking in here, as well as I do have some colder growing, like I have a Dracula here, and like the Lepenthes and stuff like that don't like to get as warm. So generally I try and keep an eye on those temps, but it's not too bad. I feel like my room stays cold enough that usually the case is hovering around maybe 70, like lower 70s to upper 70s range, which I'm quite happy with. So let me start over there. This case wasn't too bad to build at all. It's literally just an Ikea mouse bro. I think I could put the prices down in the comments. But Ikea mouse bro. I have some weather stripping on pretty much all the doors and any of the gaps and stuff like that, just to keep the humidity in here. It honestly might not need as much weather stripping as I have on it. My other case seems to keep humidity quite well. Also, to help with the humidity as well, I have some trays down here that I usually have some water in, just to provide some ambient humidity if it needs it, like if I'm away on a trip or something like that. The build is not terrible. We just have some like egg crate diffuser. I have a big sheet going behind everything, and then two big pieces for the walls. My current setup involves kind of like a tiered system where these center plants are bumped out, and then these lower plants are bumped out more, and then I have another shelf down here too. The main reason I have it like that is so my grow lights can reach down. I was a little worried about them stretching for light if it was just all a vertical space, just because the upper plants could block the light of the lower plants. I feel like this is slightly better. I'm still experimenting with stuff. I'm sure the lighting's fucked, but in the video. But I have some yellow spots. People are still adjusting. The tiered system is newer for me. So I think we're still working on it, Lights pretty cheap. I just got some off of Amazon. I think they're Britannia, whatever those are called, like T5 lights, just like 4-foot ones. I currently have 4 of them up there, and they are purple, only just because that's all I have. I think eventually I would prefer getting, full spectrum or white, just because, looking at the flowers and stuff like that, it's a bit easier under that natural light. I do also, mainly for when I'm away, I do have a mister system set up. I don't use it when I am home, but for traveling and stuff, it is nice. I got it pretty cheap off Amazon as well. I think it was only like $50, or so. Again, like if this was a more permanent misting setup, I probably would invest in a higher quality mister for sure. But for, again, like if I go on a week-long trip or something, it does me quite well. The most annoying part though is definitely I have to bump a bunch of these side guys into like the center region so that the misters can reach them, you know. Um, yeah, generally on the Ikea's cases, the backboard here is like metal sheets, and they kind of have like a little shelf where normally the glass shelving would sit. And the issue that I was having with my other case was water was collecting on those little shelves and then just running out the back. But to deal with that water runoff, I literally just have a black trash bag put in behind the egg crate diffuser here. That way, water runs down, or if the water hits it, it'll run down. And very hard to tell, but I have the trash bag kind of overlapping on these trays down here. That way, if it hits that backboard, it'll run down and go directly into the trays. And hypothetically, not, running out the front here or something along those lines. Kind of the downside with doing it the way that I did is that you can't really see from the back side of it because of the egg crate kind of thing, and along with that you can't clean that glass either, so you can't tell obviously because camera and stuff, but the glass is dirty, and unfortunately if I was to try and clean that glass, or if I wanted to, I would have to fully take out this shelf, which would involve fully taking out this top part, just to access that glass and clean. So if that does bug you, that could be part of it. Doesn't bug me. Again, I only look at it through the front, and the sides don't really get much use anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I just have two, again, cheap computer fans blowing. I think eventually I probably would get like a vent maybe in the corner or something to actually vent the air out, but for my purposes, I feel like the case is big enough. There's air circulation, and I haven't really had issues with it, so it's been working out for me. Yeah, that's kind of my case build. I kind of just to help with wiring and stuff like that, I have like a little bump down here that holds the lights, the misting system, and any wires that I have going up through. It just kind of helps with the cable management. Yeah, overall I think it was pretty cheap. I would say I could do I'll do a calculation, I guess, in the comments, but I think it was roughly $250, like maybe slightly more, but not bad at all. Yeah, again, I have like pretty much no issues with it. It's pretty good by itself, at least for a week. Anything longer than a week, I feel like I would need like those outside vents. It just gets really wet in here. But it's not terrible for, just a week kind of thing. Yeah. Also, just wanted to add, most of these guys I do water about daily. They can be pushed definitely for like 2 days and potentially even 3 days. 3 days is probably the maximum, especially for these smaller guys that do dry up quicker. The bulbos would probably be fine with that, but yeah, so it kind of helps with watering a little bit, at least the higher humidity part of it. Kind of hard to say. I mean, you do just, you gotta water them still, so, you know, it doesn't fully combat it. I will say too, my lights are currently on for 10 hours a day, I think. I could double check. I might post it in the comments if people want. And I have the fans going on a high setting 24/7. They don't stop. Yeah. They're not really built to last either. I would expect them to die at some point, especially with the misters. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they got water on them, but they're pretty cheap to replace, so I'm not too concerned. This setup also has very minimal modifications to the case specifically. I've very maybe I'll get a picture of it. I might edit one in. But where all the wires kind of go up through the backside of it, there is a hole for the wires to go through on the case by default, but it's not quite big enough for at least my grow lights wire. So I did kind of have to like bend it open a little bit with a screwdriver, but it wasn't terrible. And yeah, I think if I was to redo it, I'd probably, I guess, get a drill bit and actually make a clean hole for it. But you know, it's on the backside. Nobody really sees it anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I did want to go over like a few of the downsides. I honestly don't have many qualms with it. One of the downsides though is definitely space. What does help with this is being able to mod the case quite a lot. Like with this egg crate, like meta, with this egg crate, it's very easy to add shelves if you want, like just horizontal shelves. You could add vertical space. If I wanted to, I could just zip tie a whole new section on here. That's how all of these shelves are held on, is just with zip ties, which does help. So I could just clip them and put new shelves up, or modify the case to my liking. Previously, I did have more horizontal shelves going across, and it worked fine. And then I just, you know, clipped them all, pulled them out, and then just cut some egg crate that I had left over to make the vertical shelves instead, just because it works better for the mounts that I have, at least. Yeah, that is nice. Another kind of downside that I think is that it's not fully self-sustainable. Again, a week would be the most I'd want this case to be without somebody at least opening the doors for like an hour or so. Maybe a backside, maybe like a fully exterior vent or something would be nice. Or eventually even getting like those Wi-Fi systems that let me monitor it from when I'm away from the house and stuff. That would be interesting, but I just don't have the money for it, so just hasn't come to that yet. Yeah. If you guys have any questions or anything, again, I'm mostly growing bulbos, a few miscellaneous other minis, but mostly bulbos. Got some Tolumnias and stuff up here as well. And yeah, so far we have quite a few bloomers. I had this guy bloom, this guy bloom. This guy has bloomed previously, and again, yeah, I'm quite happy with him. Yeah, there's Benny as well. Mesoldivia has bloomed as well. As well as all three of these Tolumnias have bloomed for me as well. So it's pretty successful. Again, I'm not like a pro. Oh well, we'll see here if we can. Kinda, not really. This Lepenthes lucifer here does have blooms on it, just barely not open. Again, the lighting's probably just so screwed. But yeah, let me know if you guys have questions. Again, this is just my case specifically. There's definitely a bunch of stuff that you could do to mod it. I have thought about putting like some vertical shelving. That way it would create more of like a boxy setup, but I would have a little bit more space to put some people, because as you can see, there's quite a few plants in here, but there's still a little bit of room, so I'm chilling as is. But yeah, I hope you liked the video.